One of the things that alarmed us about youth ministry is that invariably youth programs are designed to appeal to the appetites of the children. They're deliberately frivolous, almost uniformly. And so the children want to leave big church, which is boring to them because after all, over there is a frivolous alternative. And this alarmed us a great deal. And I think it's one of the biggest reasons children leave, because we are rearing them to approach God frivolously. God is not to be taken seriously. So by bringing them into the church with us, they have the opportunity to see a bigger God, to worship God with reverence and awe. But now the onus is upon us to show them that bigger God. The onus is upon us to approach God reverently and with awe. And this is very important because we can integrate our churches. We can eliminate our youth programs and still get it wrong. If we unite as a church, if we eliminate age segregation, and yet in our crying room we have frivolous depictions of Noah's Ark, so that you hear that God's wrath was poured out upon the earth in a greater way than any time in history except for Calvary. And how do we think of it? A carefree day on the ocean. You know what I'm talking about, the icon that we have in our mind. If we sing frivolous songs, if we approach God, I walk in the garden alone. If God is that small, if we sing sentimental songs, we still are not leading our children to learn to fear the Lord. If we are showing them Bible stories by using vegetables, in videos. Now, how far are we going to go with that? Are we going to crucify a cucumber? Okay, we should think really hard about all the things that we are doing in the church and in the home. And in our church, we are far from perfect, but the Lord has led us a long way in examining ourselves and the things that we do in worship, trying to restore sobriety to our worship, trying to restore sobriety to our homes and the way we talk about God and the way that we interact with one another, to really learn how our forefathers once upon a time approached God in reverence and awe. And when this happens, all of a sudden a lot changes. In fact, if that's the only battle you fight, if you win, youth pastors, as you know them, will be out of a job. Okay? Along the way, we have changed a lot of the things that we've done. When you have this view, suddenly all of life becomes very important. Tomorrow morning I have Greek class, and we have some 14-year-olds. We also have a mother with 2 children and 1 on the way. They're hungry to grow because they have a new view of God.
So as you're worshiping together as whole families, as you're training children or teaching fathers to disciple their children at home, as you're pleading with your congregation to have a reverent honor and fear of God, are you seeing fruit from that?
Yes, absolutely. Children now are having conversations among themselves patterned after conversations that they are seeing us have as adults, because we include them. When the adults are having these conversations, the children are there. They're encouraged to interact with us, to watch us have these conversations. And I hear back from my children the conversations that they have when they chat with their friends of the same age. And I'm seeing tremendous fruit, not just the elimination of the teenage idea, okay? Not just, now they're behaving like the adults we hoped they would be. We're seeing children behaving like the adults that we wished that we were. And we're seeing tremendous fruit. It's encouraging. I see the day coming when we need to get out of the way because we're just holding them back. They're growing tremendously.
Praise the Lord.
Very encouraging.
Brother, thank you for sharing that with us.